Hey guys, it's Mw3 here, coming to you with a part 2 of the guns that are been buffed, and the M16 is one of them. I've already done the AK, and the M16 has a higher fire rate and more damage, guys. Yes, now it is a 2-shot kill at close range and still 4 at a distance. So, here today to talk about the dual commentator about the M16 is my friend Blue Gorilla.
Thank you, Red Gorilla.
Alright, what do you think is the best attachments for the M16?
Me personally, using the M16 over and over again, which I am now at automat, I find that the red dot sight and rapid fire to be most effective with that, or rapid fire kick if you really want to hit some heads.
Now, what attachments were was not working for the M16?
Well, the underbarrel shotgun has never worked for any gun, besides for some reason the G36C that I find. I did not care for the silencer like most people say, because of the fact I could not at all get one burst kills from any farther than about 20 meters. Up close it was still a easily killed gun, but if you're shooting any farther than 20 meters you might as well have a submachine gun in your hand by how effective it really is.
Okay, now I noticed you do not like the silencer, right? Because I've heard that's what you've been saying. You don't like the silencer with the M16, right?
Absolutely.
Now, I disagree for the fact is the M16 does have a longer burst kill. If you guys did not know, a longer burst kill for the M16, like the Type I think is like 15 millimeters and the M16 is like 20. So, I think you can take advantage of this and use a silencer instead of like the Type. I would not recommend a silencer, but the M16 I would. So, basically, do you think the M16 is better than the Type, more easier to compete with the Type, or what? What do you think?
I think that the M16 is more balanced than the Type, and the sole fact that it's more consistent than the Type. Type 95 you can get a lot more probably one burst kills, but the M16 stays on target where that one burst don't kill and the second burst will, as you'll see many times in the video where 2 bursts are taken, but that red dot never leaves the sight of that person, so it's really easy to control. And the fact that I like about the M16 is it still only has 30 shots in its magazine like any other assault rifle, but the fact that it's a 3-round burst easily helps you control your ammo.
I see. Before we get off topic here, I forgot to ask you, like, do you prefer to use the assault strike package, the support, or the specialist?
All depends on the objective. It depends on what I'm going for. In this gameplay, I'm playing demolition, and I played with these kids before, and I noticed that they like to call in a lot of air support things between predator missiles, attack helicopters, which they were unlikely to be able to do because our team dominated most of the time. So I decided to run the EMP grenade, EMP out with a stealth bomber and a advanced UAV because most of them are running hardline and not assassin.
So do you recommend assault, support, specialist? Like, would you prefer them to run support, or would you prefer them to use assault, get like the enemy frustrated with all their assault attack helicopters, or would you prefer them to be a support gunner or assault, like run out there or camp a little bit, or what do you think they should do?
Well, right now, because of the way the M16 is now buffed, the fact is it can be either or. It can be an amazing assault gun because of the fact that it mows them over so fast, it don't matter if they see you, you'll just keep clicking that button and they'll keep dropping in front of you. You can get that predator missile really quickly and easily. And on the other hand, because it has a lot of ammo, you really can sit back with a support kill streak and go rampage over them.
So, I always thought the M16, or matter of fact, any of the burst kill weapons, have always been more of a slow gunner, not like a rusher class. Do you agree with that? Like, it should not be used as a running gun, it should be like a little bit more cautious gameplay, or is it just a rushing gun? Because to me, I always thought a 3-round burst gun would always be like a kind of move with caution, slash campy, slash kind of stay in the spot. But I noticed in this gameplay, you kind of just ran out there. I mean, you didn't really care who was out there, you just ran out there. What do you think?
Well, because of the fact that the 3-round burst gun of the M16 kills in 2 shots up close, I take full advantage of trying to get as close as possible, where I shouldn't need that second burst. But for that I need it, I still have the ability to shoot farther, which makes it more dominant than any submachine gun up close, and then it takes away what further guns would need, like an assault rifle or a sniper rifle. So it's the best of both worlds because it kills in one burst up close, and 2 bursts max at a far distance. It's easy to get them.
I see. So basically, how many beasts would you get out of 10 for the M16?
I would say it would give it probably a 9 up there. It's a pretty good gun. They beefed it correctly. I mean, it might be a little bit overpowered in the fire rate department now, and a little bit on the range now that it's similar to the Type 95. But I still think it's a pretty good gun to use. It's pretty good to start out with because you don't have to unlock it. It's a gun to play with.
I see. So, like, would you say the M16 is better than the Type, or I don't remember if I've already asked this, but do you think it's better, or it all depends on what map, what game pile, what do you...
Depends on the person, honestly. Are you one that can take another shot into them really quickly? Because the fact that the Type 95 does have a much faster fire rate without rapid fire than both of them, but the M16 can mow them down in shorter bursts from a farther distance. It all depends. Are you one of those people that like to run and gun and just keep going? Like that would be perfect for the M16, or are you one that likes to sit back and hit them no matter what at any distance? That's more of a Type 95 kind of gameplay.
Mm-hmm. So basically, you like the M16 now with the buff. I mean, do you notice any people who are not using like the MP7 ACR anymore? I mean, is there more variety in the game now since they've done this buff?
Initially, yes, I've seen a lot more M16s, mainly AK-47s and UMPs. I did notice that a lot of people tended to drop the guns they normally use. But now that the buff has been out for a day or two, some people are reverting back to the ACR because it still is, and most easily is, the strongest gun in the game.
Now, honestly, a lot of people were kind of thinking the Treyarch and stuff used a placebo effect about not doing the buff. And a lot of people were just thinking it just to make people think it was buffed when it wasn't. Did you think that was actually the case, or do you think they were just late? I mean, do you think they were actually do that, or what?
I think it was just takes a long time to fix, update, because of the fact that if you've ever played any of the Call of Duties before, especially when they release, it takes a while for everything to get set in stone. Maybe one of the programs wasn't working on the test. Who really knows? I mean, what would they gain from doing a placebo effect, honestly? When you got reviews like Drifter and Raging Amish, you can go right in and upload the stats and realize, hey, this gun is not buffed anymore. I don't see the real purpose of that.
Mm-hmm. So, like, although I did even if it was a placebo effect, it still made people use different guns, I noticed, because when it was still going on, I seen a whole bunch of people using the M16, and honestly, when the M16 was not buffed, there was no way you were going to see an M16. I mean, honestly, it was just I would honestly say go as far as saying it was the worst assault rifle in the category without the buff. Now, do you agree with that?
Before the buff, I've used it a very few times, and to get a kill in one burst at any range with that gun was a extreme challenge. The only way that the M16 has not changed, you put that red dot or iron sight right at the head, and you fire that gun and you get two shots out of that burst in their head, they're going down. That's one of the major attributes that I'm glad they didn't change in the M16. So it is still, before the buff, the worst gun. I would agree with that. Even though that it's easy to get headshots, because it's just like with my favorite gun, the RSASS, you got to go for the head if you want to drop them. So that's kind of why I like the M16, because it's kind of the same concept, except I get a lot quicker at it, and it's easier to shoot with.
Now, like, before the M16, did you ever use the Type and just say, wow, this gun's just too overpowered, I can't use it? Or is it just, wow, this gun's overpowered, I just have to use it? What was about that? What about that?
I have what I call a 2-mark tryhard class for that when that Type 95 first came out, when everybody was using it, when you could just get feed triple kills like nothing else. And that was marked under my tryhard class. I'd get it up to the rapid fire and maybe rapid fire silencer, then I'd put it away until somebody pissed me off. That along went with the MP7 and ACR, which the ACR actually took over the Type 95, because they found the ACR a lot more consistent.
Well, I noticed that a lot. Would you want people to be using the M16 more, or like, do you think it's because I honestly think it's a little bit overpowered, and I don't want to see people using it because that means that's a little bit harder for me to get gameplay. Now, do you think they should, a lot of people should be using the Type 95?
Well, the thing is, as I still see it, as I played with the game, I still noticed that the ACR and MP7 could still knock down this M16. If you're a precise user, if you've ever used the M14 and you are good with the M14, this is definitely a gun for you to try. Because instead of having to pull that trigger twice, you pull that trigger once, they're done. They're gone and down. So I would say that the M16 is kind of fair where it is, where it can take down some of the stronger guns, but it still can be beaten by them also.
Alright, well, thank you to Blue Gorilla. We are running out of time today, guys. Sorry about that. And we'll look forward to our next commentary, guys. So, guys, Red Gorilla signing off.
Your work is appreciated. Well done.